Hello, Roman. So last time we talked about trucking business, and you told us that the market is going to go down. The prices for the loads are going to go down. So I would like to discuss that right now.
Yeah.
How did you know that it's going to happen?
We had conversation like 4 months before market went down, I think. And it was interesting time because we spoke with you, and it was market was so excited and company was so excited, and they bought a lot of trucks for super high price and trailers, and it was low inventory in the market. Supply and demand was discharged in that market. Huge demand, and supply of trucks and trailers was not enough. That's why price rates for loads went up, and rate for freight was super high. And of course it was temporary, and our company knew that. Why? Usually this is how this works. It was shock for economy due to the COVID. All supply chain was in huge problem, not only in trucking business but also in supply chain from China. Price for containers went up from $2,000 to $10,000 in that time. People was ready to buy a lot of products after COVID, and was not enough products on a store. What does it mean? It means that companies start to order more products to make happy customers, and was not enough inventory in the market. And some companies had like thoughts about this. It will be for a long time. When supply and demand get normal and get balanced, price went back to the usual price. A lot of people talk about recession in the market and other stuff. They call this load recession or freight recession. But in my opinion, it's not freight recession. We just got back to normal what we had for 10 years before COVID, right? Rates for loads became the same what we had before COVID. Price for containers, same what before COVID. Like, yes, if you compare 2023 with 2021 or 2020, price went down. But if you compare 2023 with 2000, beginning of 2000 or 2019, before COVID, it was exactly the same price. What happened with companies? People start to pay, usually trucking companies start to pay a lot for drivers because of, again, demand so high, people start buying trucks, trailers, and what they need? They need drivers. They increase price so high. Also, they spend a lot for new trucks. Like, trucks was for 140,000, and after the COVID, it became like to 200,000. Even we had one situation when dealer came to us, and he said, "I'm ready to buy you all trailers for $50,000-$60,000, 5-6 years old trailers." He said, "I will write you a check right now. I need 2,000 trailers, and I found only 2." It was crazy time, and from my experience, I knew it will be not for a long time. We tried to not make crazy purchases. We didn't buy any crazy trucks for crazy price trucks or trailers. We bought just few trucks and few trailers. It was high price, but we bought used trucks, and our payment like loan for the truck was not different from our previous purchases. Then we didn't make stupid decision, and we always try to be in our budget. We didn't plan for this market will be for 10 or 15 years, and I think we did the right thing, and we didn't make that many mistakes. If we talk about different companies, why they struggle, and even owner operators, if they bought a truck for 200,000, its payment will be around 4,000 for truck. If they bought a trailer, dry van, in that time was priced for around $80,000. If you talk about COVID, it was $30,000. You can say almost 3 times more. The total truck and trailer payment for this driver will be around $7,000 or $6,000, right? It's huge money. To make this money in this market or normal market, almost impossible. it's not just my idea, it's a lot of people from financial markets, they say the same. You don't compare this time with after COVID time. Government printed a lot of money, customer was ready to buy. Now we get back to normal, inflation went down, we just came for normal market. And people who came for a high market, of course, they're struggling, and they saw it will be always high price and they can make a lot of money. But it doesn't work, unfortunately.
I heard recently one of the companies, I think it's called Yellow, went bankrupt or is about to go bankrupt. Could you comment on that?
Yellow. That's what I sometimes don't like, what's going on in a free market. Why someone's supposed to get help from government and some companies not, right? When COVID happened, company like United Airlines got 3 billion aid from a government, right? Here's a very similar situation. If you're not in free market operational profitable company, you should go out of the business and another company should start, right? Government try to help Yellow or other company who's not that economically official, and they try to help and put money in that company. But it doesn't work. Doesn't matter how much you put money, if they can make numbers and be profitable, they should go out of the business. This is how this works, right? But government try to help and save this company because they huge company who makes jobs for people. What I think they will they dead, and they will die. It doesn't matter. They can like a drug dealer, right? You can buy more drugs and survive for a few more months, but in the end you will still be not efficient. Only one reason: you can sell to another company, or you have to change something operation. What we got? Like you ask how we knew. We got to the same, we start struggling because we increased price for our drivers. What are we supposed to do? When we have crisis, how we can call this, financial crisis, or we have crisis with loads, you need to cut all expenses. This is how this works. You can spend the same amount if you make your profit revenue less. You make less money, right? You have to cut your expenses. And of course, huge expenses at that time was our driver salary. It's not we want or we doesn't want to do that. It's just you have to cut something. Of course, salary and fuel is our biggest part of expenses. And we cut 20% of driver salary. It's not because we want it. Of course we don't, but if to save the company, we have to do this. In Yellow situation, government, not government, union not allows them to cut the salary. How we call this? It's kind of socialism, communism, where someone, regulator, control your company salaries. Then buy the company and make it government owned, and end of story. You can't dictate, like for example me, you have to be profitable, but you cannot cut the salary or you cannot buy new trucks. They have also something about trucks. I think regulator also Department of Transportation required, they have probably bad score on DOT safety. And like you have here government and union, and here you have Department of Transportation, and to deal with this is not that easy. But for private company or public company, you still have to be concentrated on numbers and to be profitable. You can't just get money from government and do business like that, is my opinion. That's why it was for us very painful. We cut salary for drivers. First we start from owners, cut salaries for owners, cut salary for the office. After that, cut salary for drivers. It has to be like very fair. When people feel it's fair, people have to agree with that. We have 2 guys who left, but they're coming back. Because they try to find better on a flatbed, right? Because we're doing only driving loads. They try to find better income from flatbeds, and unfortunately, doesn't work. Because I always try to explain it. Who works on spot market, doesn't matter what you will do. It's very similar. All companies feel the same, right? Only if you do something a little bit different. We have like a lot of local drivers. We have LTL loads. And we help drivers to make good mileages. What help driver to make good salary? Yes, we pay less per mile, but we do everything to make driver good miles, and they can make good salary. We still do that. We have a lot of regular customers who give us a loads, and we have to take these loads for lower rate. We can't fight with them because we work with them for 7, 8, 10 years. Okay, and we analyze. Market went down, less loads. If you will not do this right, someone else will do. This how it works. And in that market, everyone can do business when market is high. But can everyone do business when market is low? And we will see a lot of companies will be out of business. Even in our company, some people own trucks, they park the trucks and come back to our company to work. And they're waiting for better time. But my idea, better time will never come. Maybe next COVID or something like, again, shock for economy, make the same market. No other option. Like, do you remember when ELD start to be on, like they tried to implant ELD? This was also shock for industry. And we got better rate. Okay, it was temporary, half year after that everything get normal. Same here. Supply chain, supply demand get in balance. Supply chain get in normal. Price for containers went from 10,000 to 2,000 again, and now we're in normal market.
So now it's normal.
Now it's
not bad. It's normal.
Now it's normal way. Only one reason, we get a lot of new inventory on the market, new owner operators, new companies get in the high market, and this company probably will be out of business, and company who will stay in the market will get a little bit maybe better rates. Not everyone will survive for sure, because if you still keep the high salary for drivers with lower rates, you don't need to be an economist or finance guy. You just have to understand, okay, if you get for your load for 50% less and you pay same amount for a driver, what does it mean? You can make money. And earlier or later, you have decreased salary or you'll be out of the business. But a lot of people still trying to keep high salary per mile because they're scared driver will leave. We also were scared, but we didn't have other options. You use calculator and you check your profit and loss, your balance, and you see you can survive with this high expense. Very easy.
So I think you just made one important point, that we are not in a bad market right now, that we are in a normal market.
Yeah.
So the situation is not bad, because most drivers and owner operators, they have a different mindset. They think that the situation right now is really bad, and they hope that in maybe 2 months, 3 months, it's going to improve.
Exactly.
So what do you think?
Yeah, they have to change their mind. Like a previous time I was to predict bad market, right? Actually it was really bad. 2 months ago it was super slow on the market, right? Now it's got better, but it's still low rates for a load. No reason to wait for better market. We normal market in present moment. I just hope it will be not getting worse, right? People who in this business have to understand. It's very interesting book and a very interesting person, economist from Harvard. He wrote, it's called Five Power of Competition. Porter, his name. And he described all economy. He divide all sectors of economy, different industries. Which industry is more competitive and which one is less competitive. And trucking business very similar to airlines, very similar. And maybe a lot of people doesn't know, but don't know that. But airlines is the less profitable business for whole industries. It's very sexy business. Everyone's saying, "Oh, it's so cool. You have planes, you have customers, blah blah blah." But in general, it's the most profitable business. Some companies not even make any profit or not even make a break even, right? They make less money than they spend. Then we have to understand this. What does it mean? 5 power of competition. We have power of supplier. We have power of customers. We also have easy. It calls treatment for new entrants. What does it mean? If you buy a truck, you can go to the bank, take a loan, buy your truck and buy your trailer, and you can right away compete with me, right? If you're in pharmaceutical business, you cannot do that. You can't just open your own business and start to compete with huge Pfizer or some other company. Impossible. If you talk about power of supplier, we have only 5-6 companies on the market who sell trucks, and you have to be buy for that price which they sell to you truck. You can't just negotiate a lot with them. It's already 2, right? And we have power of buyers. Our customers dictate us a rate, usually. If not market crazy, they dictate us what price they want. And you can't compete with them again. You have to do what customer asks if you don't want to out of business, because a lot of other customers who wait for you. We have 3 already. Fourth, it's substitution, treat from substitution. If some customer doesn't want to send by truck, they can send by railway. They have other option. Okay, trucking business go high price, they have railway. Even sometimes they can use ship products by a lake or by ships, by a lake or river. Like we went with for my vlog to company in Gary, Indiana. They send a huge parts for bridge. They build bridges by river. They have other option. No flatbed, they can send by river and use a barge. And fierce present competitors on the market. It's a lot of companies, big, small, owner operators, and they compete. That's why we can get huge margin. It's impossible. And everyone have to get that, read economic books and understand trucking business, super competitive business. Also we have regulator DOT, we have regulator for government about police speed limits, weather. We have lots of different factors. That's why this business is not that easy. And people have to understand who wants to start this business. You always have ability to start it right. It's not that difficult to start the company, even if you want to buy just only one truck. But to get here high margin, impossible. And everyone who tells this super profitable business, and maybe someone will write a comments, usually people like very smart and say like it's not true. I will just send me your profit and loss for a year and we will discuss about that. You don't need to send for public, send us privately and we can talk about your numbers. Most of the company not profitable. Yes, when market was high, people make money, but it was for 2 years. Now, I'm in this business for 10 years. 10 years was exactly what we have right now. Only 2 years was exception when was COVID.
But when you say no profit, you mean like zero, or is there a little?
Okay,
bit?
we talk like this again. Guy for Porter, that economist from Harvard, he said around 5% margin for this business. 5%. Because I talk about same South. He has very interesting interview, and he said like everyone talk about airline sexy business, but no one knows it's 5% revenue, right? Or company need to do something different, like Southwest. They're super profitable company, but they doing different kind of. They provide different service in United, or also United getting a lot of help from government, right? American Airlines. But if you talk about Lufthansa, British Airways, it's huge companies, but they got new competitor from Qatar, from Fly Emirates. They need to compete again. Now, you can't talk this short period of time. You have to watch and check numbers for 10 years, because now what's going on in airlines? Everything booming. Similar what we had during the COVID and after when market was high. Now airlines getting the same. And if you look on numbers now, you will say, oh, it's super profitable business. Okay, no, let's talk about 10 years and check average rate and average margin for this business. It's super low. We know company from Italy, Iberia, they got bankrupt. Why? It was one of the most profitable company. I have this case in my school. We discuss how this company was one of the most profitable company in the market, because they negotiate very well with Boeing and Airbus. They use these two companies to get very low price for planes. However, trucking business, similar to airline business, is low profitable business. End of story.
Okay.
Why our company is 10 years in the business and we have not bad number for previous period of time? I work here 14 hours, 15 hours a day. We took different what company doing, right? From A to B. We have LTL customers. Even during the COVID, when market was like, all company was shut down, we had customers who give us LTL freights, and we all, you remember the time, we were still in, we keep our drivers busy, we keep our mechanics busy. We not fire even one person, or not even one truck was without load.
Can you explain what LTL?
LTL, it's a partial load. It's where we are more other companies. What more we doing in the business? We're not doing from A point to B, and we're trying to find high rate. How most company doing, right? They have like dispatchers in Ukraine or in Moldova or someone else, and they try to cut expenses there, but people who is dispatchers, they try to find a better rate, and they're doing 200 miles, 300 miles, depends of the rate. No, we do like one line, and we have most of our loads LTL, we have storage, we have warehouse, and we have other kind of businesses which make us to make better margin. Without that, if you want to do what everyone do, it's impossible to be successful in this industry. Yeah.
The situation on the market is normal. It's not bad. But let's discuss some of the options or possibilities if it's going to become worse. For example, what percentage of loads comes from China?
We do most of our loads drive-in loads, dry freight. And for our last, like I said, with 10 years in this business, and for last 3-4 years, we can see it how change many products made in US, and it's trend. It's 100% trend. Even if you check just in Google, people who are interested in how much was spent for new factories in US, you'll get dramatically numbers. If compare for 5 years ago or 3 years ago, everything going to that direction. When even some plastic products like barrels or some kind of trays or something else for kitchen, some products, they started making a lot of stuff in US, and it's trend, 100%. What can get worse? People will still eat, people will still buy stuff. Yes, maybe more, maybe less, and most of our products is food, and food usually made in US.
Okay, but let's say the relationship between United States government and Chinese government is going to become worse. There is a possibility China can invade Taiwan.
Yeah.
And in this case, United States government would be forced to sanction China and Chinese products. So if this happens, how is this going to affect our business, the trucking business?
Yeah. Very interesting thing. Probably people still think the biggest trader for US is China, but it's not. Mexico number 1, Canada number 2, China number 3. Now if we talk about if war happened, right? We're already in war between China, because we have 5 types of wars. We have trade war, technology war, financial war, new technology war, and we have a war, real war. We have trade war for many years, right? Also, we have not the high-tech war. Both countries fight about technologies, right? They not allow Huawei be in US, China don't allow something else. We're already in that war as well. It's everything going probably to that direction. But if you look on both countries' economy, we can see very clear picture. 750 billions trade between China and US. But US buy 70% import from China, and 30%, around, maybe it's not exactly number, but around 30% US send products to China, export. If war happened, right? Who will get to worse position, US or China? Of course China, because US is the biggest customer for China, trade partner. Because China has, if you talk about countries, is US number one, but we have also European Union. Usually European Union go together with US in trades and other stuff, like all organizations. Then if you talk without organization, US number 1, and they sell 70% to US and 30% only buy from US. If war happened and US had decided to make sanction and not buy stuff from China, it's of course will get worse from China, not for US, because the US biggest customer for China. And even now, China is getting in an even worse economical position than US. They have a lot of problems with real estate. I have a professor in my school, Kellogg, who tell a story when he come to China, and it's like empty cities. They built a lot of properties, and it was like a bubble. And government held these loans, and now you come for city, and it's like no one lives there. Like in the nighttime, no lights on the buildings. They have a lot of interesting problems there. And if you talk about products, okay, yes, they make cheap products, kind of like a lot of not that expensive products. It's easy to substitute that products. That's what I think US make a decision to bring it back, manufacture to US. Also they use Mexico and also they use Canada.
Do you think that was Trump's decision to bring it back?
It's very interesting. It's a lot of manipulation about that politically. We have also this in school. We talk about that. Like if you know tax cuts, that Trump said it was my idea, blah blah blah. But people who work for, I have professors who work for Federal Bank and other stuff. They know exactly what's going on. We as a student don't know the details. He said like, I want to give you a clear idea how this works. Cut tax. It was a project for 10 years. You can make like for 5 years or 3 years decision to cut the taxes. It's huge process because you have international trade. You have partners, and when you do something like that, you have to make sure it will not affect your economy or will not affect your partners. It was a huge plan for 10 years, but in Trump, when Trump was a president at that time, everything was ready in that time to apply that. It's the same what happened with Afghanistan. The people said like Biden said to leave Afghanistan, but no, everyone forgot that it was the decision of Trump who makes this decision 3 years earlier, and was they when they have to leave Afghanistan. It's a lot of manipulation about, like Trump, president of the United States is very important, but we have a lot of people who work for economy, for law, to make some decision for next president. We have Congress, we have Minister of Defense, Minister of Trades, and other stuff, right? It's not that easy decision. When you're a president, something was prepared before you, and they tell you what to do. That I think this trend, maybe he put more pressure on that, like okay, we have to move our factories back to US and other things. But I don't think he plays that huge role how he talk about that and how people discuss it. It's not my idea. Again, I talk with the people who work in government, and they explain like it's not that easy how people think. It's a not easy decision. And I think even before Trump, they started this understanding China. They depend a lot of China, and they need to move from that. And Taiwan, like you said, Taiwan, it's could be a problem. No one can predict, right? It will happen or will not happen.
If it's going to happen, how much is it going to affect our business? Not the country, but our business.
Like I said, it's for China, US #1, but we have Mexico and Canada. I don't think it will be a huge problem. Also, we have very close to China and Japan trade partner. We also have South Korea, huge partner, and everything move a lot. If you know about chips. Company Intel, AMD, they try to build here factories. It also means something, right? Mexico is huge opportunity for US. We don't know what happens.
So they can substitute China with
some other countries. They have substitute with other countries, and even I read very interesting article from Financial Times. I think they predict Mexico will be 5th economy or 4th economy in the world. Now they're in the top 10, I think. And they predict will be number 5th or 4th in the future. It means probably US will move that direction and trade more with Mexico. And we have opportunity here. What is the biggest problem for move factory? Like for me, okay, I want to open factory, and also I have plan to do that, right? But the biggest problem for me, salary, one of, but also a lot of bureaucracy, unions, insurance. Not that many people wants to work on a factory anymore. Is not that excited to work on a factory. But what we got? We got robotics, right? Robots on a manufacture, when you can use few people but product some important products. We can see with Tesla factory. Not that many people work there. It's a huge opportunity for US to really move factories back to US, and I think it's a great idea.
In the last interview, you told me that your dream is to get into MBA program in Chicago. So, did you get into MBA?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Actually, I didn't think it will be so soon, and I applied and I got accepted for top business school in the world. It's Kellogg, Northwestern University, School of Management. Not that many people.
I can see it on your hoodie.
Yeah, not that many people know about the school, like in Ukraine or Russia or Moldova or East Europe or even in Europe. But if you in US, you tell someone about the school, everyone like knows this. This is very well-known school. The school was ranking #1 in the world for many years. This year, I think Wharton from Pennsylvania got #1 and Kellogg #2. They usually compete because it's not MBA, it's executive MBA program. It's a little bit different. It's not for people without experience. Like MBA, you can go like right away after bachelor. Executive is the people who has 10 years experience in a management position. And I have very interesting people from different kind of industries. PepsiCo, I have from PepsiCo who runs some department in a PepsiCo. Facebook, Google, New Balance. Some, not that many, maybe 10% of business owners also present in the school. And school and program very interesting. You have every second week in a school. We live there 3 days. Stay in the campus. They give us food, hotel room, everything, and we have the top professors, very well-known professors. Like some maybe of your people who will see your vlog, watch your vlog. Kotler. It's a godfather of the marketing. Mm-hmm. He is a guru of marketing, the person who creates the subject in general. He's an old guy. He was a professor in my school. Now we have Professor Alex Chernov. If you watch this vlog, hi to you. He's our favorite professor, one of the favorite professor. He worked with Kotler. He helped with him to write his books. Now Kotler helped this Professor Chernov write the books. Very well-known books around the world, like top professor. I have professor from Federal Bank, from finance and economics in competitions. Great school, great program. If someone wants to or dream to get to top business schools, I will be happy to help with any advice. And if you need, you can reach Alex or reach me, and I will always give you advice. Do you need it or not?
How many years is it?
It's 2 years program. Now I finished my second quarter. I have 4 more. But after third quarter we start. It's called electives part of our school. What does it mean? We have opportunity to select program from all around the world from our school or partner school. For example, I will travel to Hong Kong for a week. I will travel to Dubai for Phase 0 program. It's about entrepreneurship. Also, I will go to Lisbon for marketing class for 7 days, and also to Toronto, also brand management and the marketing class. Like, it's very interesting program. We give you opportunity to travel to see different people. In the end of August, we host in Chicago, in Evanston. People come from around the world to our campus, and we have to spend time with them. Also have classes. It's super interesting. Mm-hmm. Super interesting program. Networking, great people, great professor. Recommend to anyone.
If it's not a secret, what's the tuition cost?
It's not the cheap program. Around in the end, around $250,000
total.
Yes, but to clearly understand, if people as fellow Norwegians, like everyone pay cash, it doesn't work here like that. You can take a loan for 4% a year interest, and you can pay this loan after you finish the program. 1 year after you finish the program, you can start paying your payments.
Okay, and can you tell us how are you going to use it for your own benefit? How are you going to use that education in the future?
I think I already start to apply this program to how I can use it. I met a lot of and still keep meeting a lot of interesting people in this program, which give me ideas, and they open for me this box mind things. I was doubt around 2-3 months if I need it or not. Honestly, I was already in the program. I like a lot of stuff there, but I was saying, do I need it or not? I'm not work for corporation when people need it to get to new position, right? I have my own business. What benefits I can get from this program? And I think it's normal reaction when you spend a lot of money and you don't spend that much time on your company, and you spend for studying when I'm 35 years old, and I'm spend my time to study in 25 years old. It's like, are you need it? But after these 2 quarters, figure out it's my best investment. honestly. People which I met in this program make me better person, new connections. Even for my business, it's a lot of opportunity. I have people who work and we can start to cooperate and maybe work. It will be my new customers. Also, I start my vlog.
Yes, tell us about that.
Yeah, I start my vlog. People from upstairs, from my office, always like, why you don't start your vlog? Why you don't start your vlog? I said, what I will talk about? Like business, it's a lot of vlogs already in the market. Not that interesting for me. First, it has to be interesting for yourself, that people can see you enjoy it. I don't want to talk about my business. I get so tired about it every day. What's the point? For drivers, to find drivers, we don't need that, and I was not excited. But I promised them if I had got accepted in one of the best schools, I will do this program, right? And I got accepted, and it's like for me, and what? Why you start your vlog? And I figure out it'll be interesting for people to see person who built in US company from zero, because it was zero. It was 10,000 investment from me and my dad, and we started this from scratch. Dad was a driver, I was a driver, and I will start to find lots. We have owner operator. We start to grow step by step, and we build some company, right? And to show people how I manage my time for this program, how I run my business, how I spend time with my family, how I spend time for a sport. I love to run and do triathlon marathons. It can be interesting, because when I get to this program, I didn't know a lot of it. I didn't have any idea what is that. I just have like goal, I want to be an MBA. But what is this program about? What kind of people there? Do I need it? Do I? Maybe not. I tried to Google it or find some information for students who finished the school or who still currently in the program. I couldn't find anything. I will show very interesting stuff, like how we spend time after our classes. Like I said, we stay in the campus 3 days. I arrive on Friday and I leave on Sunday. My family never see me for, don't see me for three days. We have lectures. After that, we doing some cases with my group, or we spend time in chatting, or we go to restaurant, or we go into nightclub sometimes, and it makes so connected these people, and where I can find this kind of people from. If I work all the time, right? I couldn't find people from Google or Facebook and talk about that industry. It's impossible, right? But this program gives me opportunity to talk. I have a guy who sold company. He's now 52. He was from our industry, Strive Logistics, if maybe someone knows. He was huge broker. I even found rate confirmation from this broker. And when I came to the school, he told me, Roman, it was my company. Like he told me about Strive Logistics. Like, yeah, I know this company. We did loads for them. It was my company. I sold it to Redwood. And like, what? And we're not very close with him, right? He introduced me to people who own bakeries, huge bakeries company, and they make a bread for Four Seasons Hotel, for Gibson restaurants, top restaurants, top hotels in Chicago. He makes bread for them, like he works directly with chefs. He introduced me to the guy who one of the second oldest trucking company in Chicago, great company, third generation owner. His granddad started the company. He introduced me, said you have to meet this guy, and I went and we have conversation with him about this, what's going on in the market, right? Where you can find these people? No, nowhere. We have different ages. Some guy from 28, he doing acquisition for a recycling company, one of the biggest company in Illinois. He's 28 and he doing acquisition. He buying smaller company in Illinois to make his company bigger. Like he worked for that company. It's a lot of different different people with different views for different dreams. From Oracle, lady, she's 45. She starts this program because she wants to help India government in the future. When she get retired, she wants to go back. She worked for 30 years for the same company, or for 25 or something, right? It's a huge number, 20 or 25 years. I will have interview on my channel. This is a huge opportunity for me, and I think it's the best investment.
Okay. Since we started to talk about technology, many of my friends are asking when are the cyber trucks, the smart electrical trucks like Tesla, are going to take over the market, and we truck drivers are going to lose our jobs. When do you think it's going to happen?
One again, very interesting numbers. My small group in Kellogg, we preparing. I asked them to write research. We'll do research for 6 very important questions about trucking business, and maybe soon we can talk about that. I'll give you a whole review. People from different. One guy worked for hedge fund, another lady worked for HR, another worked for another industry, and we all try to figure out what's going on in trucking and where we go. And I have already some numbers. It's good news for truck drivers. Shortage of truck drivers will just increase, will not go even better, right? It's bad news for me as an owner. Unfortunately, this job not that many people wants to do, and drivers will still need it. And till 2030 will be increased for 20 or 30% shortage of drivers. It's good news for drivers. It's not easy job. Well paid. That's we talked with you in previous interview. Why is this job well paid? Well paid because it's not easy job. You have a lot of responsibility, and some people take the job like it's a joke and just for money. You have to take this job very responsibly. About electric trucks and self-drive trucks, I don't think it's possible soon. That's why we'll have such a high demand for drivers. Impossible because you need to change whole infrastructure. Truck stops. Not enough for self-drive truck. You need more space, rest areas, companies. How you can make that? I think it's probably will be something similar to self-drive trucks, like Tesla have like self-drive car, but you still have to be present. Something like that. Like driver maybe will not drive that much, but he will be like a kind of pilot, right? He will be still present in a truck, and truck will drive like from Chicago to Denver by himself, and you will be just control if everything going well. I think it's most realistic idea.
What's the point to have a person, because you still have to pay him and he doesn't
maybe
do anything.
You know, they can decrease salary because you not drive that many hours anymore, like, or you can do 1,000 miles legally, but you have as a driver drive only like 700, 300. You can use self-drive trucks. I think it's possible to work in that direction. Also, I think it's huge opportunity for electric trucks. I think after Tesla, it will be another company. I think already Freightliner and Volvo works for electric trucks. It's a huge thing for companies. You can cut your expense for diesel price. It will be not so connected to price for oil, and it's the future. It's a future for sure. But self-drive trucks, like people think, will be like you just someone pilots sit in Ukraine or in Moldova or somewhere and control the trucks. It will not work like that. I don't believe in this. But we'll see.
Do you think it would be difficult from a legal standpoint?
Also, you have to change a lot of laws.
Yeah, every state has to allow it.
Yeah, all states have. We even, if talk about, I ask my people in my school. I have a lot of smart people in the school. Some work for Google, Facebook, director of company who build bridges. I have a guy who worked for Facebook and built data centers, and now he worked for Microsoft and built huge data center for $1 billion, right? And I always ask question like, why US can build trains as Japan or China? And they give me a clear answer. Private owned land, old country with already built railway, is so difficult to get that done in this kind of country. When China build, and they have a lot of opportunity to build something new, they build they have a lot of opportunity to start from zero and build as better for them as they can. US with already railway system, not that easy, because if people maybe also they don't know, it's private, it's not government owned, and someone can own even 100 miles of railway. Another company can own other 1,000 miles, and make deal with between all of them not that easy. And build new railway, you have to deal with a lot of private customers, private owners of land to build this railway. It's not easy answer, and if you talk about trucks, it'll be same story. Okay, you need to make different highway. You need to be bigger highway, big rest area. Okay, who owns that land? Okay, you need to deal with some farmer. It's a lot of questions. Not easy answer.
Okay. So I'm sure you heard about the BRICS countries and the upcoming BRICS summit in South Africa. I think one of the main topics they're going to discuss is an alternative money to United States dollar. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, but if it's going to happen, what do you think is going to happen to the dollar, to the American economy, and the trucking business?
Okay, I always have my view about what's going on in U.S. economy, right? They're doing really well. Stock market doing really well. But I don't like one thing. I don't like debts, right? Huge debts, but if you talk about debts, they have like inside debts and outside debts. It's not that bad if you compare with GDP for US. It's not that scary have news talking like, oh my god, the end of the world, US have huge debt and will have a problem. Because it's the most important stuff for currency. If US stop print US dollars and will be additional currency in the world, it can affect so bad the US economy. Because still we have opportunity to print money all around the world and we don't need to worry about our debt. If you talk like about details, it's not that easy to explain in a short video, but it's a lot of different stuff it can affect. BRICS and G7 has similar amount of GDP in the world. 30%, around 30%. Maybe 30 and a half, 31, it's not that important in the present moment. But if you talk about currency, it's more about speculation. We still don't have any ability to, no one wants to use Chinese yuan or Brazilian currency, yeah. Still US dollar is still the most popular currency. I don't know what will happen in 100 years, but for 10, 15, 20 years, there's no chance that something will be new, another alternative for US dollars. Because you have to think also about very important stuff. If you talk about currency, it's also about law, about law for private owned company, about law about your, if you own something, can one come and take from you or not, how you protected by law, about corruption, about other stuff. Why most of companies use US dollars? Because they believe on the courts, they believe on the law, and they believe for economic stable situation in US, right? If you compare G7 and we compare BRICS, it's total different stuff. Because we have Britain, some countries like Singapore use Britain law. Why? Because they believe on that law. Even in countries who just not that doing well in economy, but they still use, they try to make a trade agreement or some kind of important paperwork basic on UK law. Why? Because they believe judge will be honest and fair when they will make his decision. I think it was one of the most important stuff that it will not happen soon, and still we have 30 BRICS, 30 we have G7, we have still 40% of other countries, right?
Okay.